The tour with Jesse's been really good. It's funny because a lot of people have come to me, a lot of Dolls fans have said like, so why Jesse's music? It's so different than what you're doing, and that's exactly why. Yeah, I remember at the beginning of the year, I said to myself, I want to take the opportunity of 2007 to play with as many different kinds of bands as I can, and just kind of like accumulate lots of different experiences. And playing music as sort of like stripped down and straightforward as Jesse's has really helped me strengthen in a way that I was lacking with the Dolls, because Doll stuff is so at times very freeform and boundaryless. And Jesse is much more structured, and that's something that I wanted to kind of improve on. I think it's made me a much more solid and a more focused player in ways that I was not paying attention to before. And the guys in the band are really great guys. They're tremendous fun to like hang out with, and that was something I wanted too. Things with Dolls had gotten so cumbersome or burdensome emotionally, being out on the road all the time, that I think I was really seeking a relief from that, and just kind of just like a simple experience to go play with like a non-complicated situation and just go and have fun playing music. And so that has been that. And the same thing with playing with the Viglione trio too. It was just like good fun out there playing shows and stuff. So. The solo shows have been fantastic, actually. I mean, every opening band has to deal with the same kind of stuff in general, which is close to no sound check, being cramped on stage, all the stuff. The typical sort of you get sort of like whittled down to like the most minimal thing that you could possibly hope to get away with for shows, and that always adds a certain kind of anxiety or stress to the shows, especially for the singer and the person who's feeling like they're representing themselves. So the solo shows have been kind of a great release from that, and we've been able to really cut loose. And again, I think the band is really growing too. And everyone had really sort of high standards, because this incarnation of Jesse's group has really only been together for about a month and a half, like including rehearsals. The guitar player, literally before we left for tour, had only been to about 5 rehearsals. So he literally was kind of tacked on right at the end, and everyone's been working very diligently to make the group sound tight. And it's gotten better every show. So I think by the time we get back to the States, and certainly for tomorrow's show at Islington, I think it'll be like a really, really tight thing. So everyone's in good spirits about that. The Dolls figurines. Well, I think, again, what I was saying before about how we sort of hope that people would understand that the sort of core of what we want to get across is that kind of freedom to kind of like be yourself and do your own thing. And so we didn't feel really particularly in line with the idea of creating some kind of like icons of ourselves, or little like figurines of that particular thing. Hopefully who we are in the Dresden Dolls is more sort of like vast and spread than just kind of like the image of the bowler hat and the stripy tights and what that was, because that's I see us as being much more transient than just that kind of an image and that sort of thing, and not really right. As I was saying before, I think Amanda and I had always hoped that the aspect of what people take away from the band is it's about the music. It's about feeling inspired to really be yourself and you know, your own kind of individuality. And I think having some kind of like concrete, you know, finite figure, emblem or whatever representing us as people or something like that, or some kind of like icon, it's not really in line with what we hope would be the kind of enduring, you know, qualities of the music, where, you know, it's much less about like us as, you know, the two people in like the bowler hat and stripy tights, you know, and maybe it's different too. That's also how Amanda and I feel about it. Again, it's sort of, you know, with the thing about the tattoos, people like to have a kind of like an icon or an image that they can hold up and say like, this represents the good of what I attach to something. People might get like the tattoo or, you know, the figure and say like, this is like a physical thing that represents the thing I love about this music. So that's fine too. But I mean, I think we wanted to really keep it much less about like some kind of persona or locked into some kind of like particular image, and much more about the kind of intangible aspects of what we do, hopefully. Yes, well, we have a wonderful yet brief American tour, the Dresden Dolls, which is going to be great. We're going to be doing, I think, about 4 shows in the Northeast, and then basically going from Canada down through the deep South, through Alabama and Florida, and back up through Virginia. And that'll be really fantastic too. Everyone has been kind of emailing recently over the past few days, all of the crew, and people are in various parts of the world saying like, I can't wait to see you guys, and so that's going to be, I think, really exciting. And Amanda and I are going to hopefully be able to play a lot of the material from the Yes Virginia recording era that didn't make it onto Yes Virginia, songs like The Kill and Boston and Gardner and so forth, and a lot of the songs that we also want to get out to there, and hopefully be able to tie it in with a release and kind of release like a, probably like a free download, something like online of the Yes Virginia kind of B-sides, like the extra songs from those sessions. And then in addition, hopefully get to do a release of a live recording from Sydney, Australia, which was really great. So that'll probably be the next Dresden Dolls Sings. Amanda is also working on a very basic next songbook, all the Yes Virginia stuff, so there'll be all the transcriptions and notes in there about that, so people can have that music. And and then we'll see. And then Amanda will basically be off on her solo tour, and I've got some things coming up as well too in the new year. So it's gonna be really exciting.
There's no plans of coming back to the UK with the Dolls?
There aren't yet, but you never know how things are gonna go. So I wouldn't rule it out completely. But as of yet, the only real sort of touring plans we have are the US shows. So I'm very excited to reconnect with our fans out there again, and just doing the shows with Jesse and having Dresden Dolls fans come up afterward and be like, oh, came all this way. It means so much. It's great. Yeah, it's been phenomenal to see people coming out. And I love that. Thank you. The Roundhouse shows, I think, were probably the perfect way to sort of sum up, and was like just like the crowning sort of like ornament and experience of that era of the band, because to me that was really like kind of like the last Dresden Dolls show of that time period. Of that, it was like this really sort of like beautiful summation of all the work, all of the wonderful people, all of the experience and time and blood, sweat, and tears that have went into that past 6 years up until that time, and to see people from all over the world come together and help create something that was, pulled off really beautifully and with such tremendous spirit was incredible. And we felt great about the shows. Happy that the DVD is out there and kind of captured that time period. And and I hope to see it only get better. Definitely.
What made you choose the Roundhouse as the 2 shows?
Well, that was an idea that came through our European booking agent, who was like, the Roundhouse is great. It's got this great history of sort of avant-garde performance art and theater and music and the Doors and all these great sort of like punk bands and performance bands have played there in the past, and it's newly refurbished, and capacity-wise, it was like wound up being the right whatever. It just made sense, on a lot of different levels for everyone involved booking the shows. And then being there was phenomenal too. I had obviously never been there, but it was a great experience, and seeing the kind of like timeline of in different bands that have played there in the past. It felt cool to be a part of that, and so it was great. We've always like tried to incorporate the band into like different unique venues when possible. And the Roundhouse, I think, it's got a lot of cool character to it.